Before I begin my story, I actually have to give a disclaimer. I do work for the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. My story is my story, and because I want to be able to go back to work tomorrow, my office has nothing to do with it, okay? Okay. One of the people I feel the most religious affinity with is an Orthodox rabbi who is a prosecutor like me. His name is Benny. Benny and I met when we worked in the same unit. Benny was recruited for his high-tech knowledge and his search and seizure expertise. I first met him when my supervisor brought him around for introductions. He started a few days later. Looking at Benny, you would not guess that he is an Orthodox Jew or a rabbi. Same as me, you don't know I'm Muslim by looking at me. On Benny's first day, I got a cart and helped him bring his stuff up from his car. He stopped in a red zone while we loaded up carts to take up to the office. I waited for Benny to park his car down the street in one of the more affordable lots, not too far from the affordable lot I parked in. Now, I did not help every person who came to our unit. Why did I help Benny? Because I'd heard through office gossip that he was a bit of a misfit. I don't know if that perception was because he's an Orthodox rabbi and a prosecutor, an extremely rare thing, or because he's just weird. Either way, who better to welcome an Orthodox male rabbi than a Muslim woman? It turns out that Benny is an eccentric genius stuck in the wrong time period. Benny's knowledge of random facts is astounding. Benny cannot be neatly labeled. His views are somehow conservative, liberal, and libertarian. His sense of humor, though, is extraordinary. Our conversations ranged from talking about our cases, me talking about child pornography, and him about computer intrusion, to Torah study, a lot of tradition and stories with names I could not pronounce, to Benny introducing me to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, a hilarious and completely inappropriate show. Episodes about child molestation, faking cancer, and destroying an immigrant family's home. He showed me clips on his computer. They were funny. Why does my relationship with Benny matter? We're religious minorities who understand each other's struggles, getting time off for holidays, food restrictions, fasting, and all that. But what really binds us? The plight of sexual assault survivors in our communities. Benny is at the forefront in the Orthodox community of exposing sexual predators and helping victims find the strength to come forward. We spend much of our time talking about what to do. How do you help someone when everyone in her world is telling her to keep quiet? When the religious figures in her life say they will mediate? When the perpetrator has money and influence, so he buys silence? How do you not give up? What about when you are scorned and excluded for being the one who says there is abuse here and it must end? How do you keep fighting when you're fighting alone? Well, you talk to your Muslim buddy who went through the same thing in her community, except that she, me, got burned out and stopped helping publicly because she, again me, also lost friends and stopped respecting community leaders who sided with perpetrators rather than victims. There was a time when I was heavily involved in speaking out against sexual assault. I worked a rape hotline, I traveled and gave talks. I felt hope for the future. But over the years, the stories didn't change. The victims still felt powerless, and so did I. The child being molested by a religious figure, a family friend, a family member. The child being told to stay quiet because no one would believe them. What do I do? I wanted to quit, but I didn't want to quit. I ended up quitting. I didn't feel hope, so I couldn't offer hope. Benny gives me hope. We vent to each other about the struggles. We tell each other the victim stories. We provide hope to each other hope in justice, hope in the humanity of others, hope that a victim will become a survivor, hope that one survivor will help another. Benny comes to work and shares the most recent assault he's learned about. He was on the phone for hours with a woman. She was molested for years by a well-known rabbi. And then she found out the rabbi did it again, after her, to another girl. So she decided to tell. Benny heard her, gave her courage, strength, told her about legal options, told her that she is heard and believed, that she will not be alone. He called police departments, prosecutors, rabbis, all to help her feel like she was not alone. And then one Saturday, Benny was at the synagogue, and the perpetrator was there at the synagogue, praying, communing, being there. Why? Because he could. Because no one called him out on the girls he molested. Because his money matters. Because his influence matters. But Benny doesn't care. Benny won't kiss his ass or fake respect. Benny tells him that he knows. Right there in the synagogue, the rabbi gives Benny the look of death, turns to walk away. Benny tells him his day will come. I share stories with Benny. A girl is assaulted by a community leader. Who will she tell? He is the beloved leader. Who will believe her? The excuses begin. He was counseling her. She misunderstood. He was helping because she is troubled. She misunderstood. He just wanted to help her with her family problems. She misunderstood. No, he is a predator. She understood. She was not the only one. I know there are others, just like I know about her. She told her story. He moved away. Some still say he was a good leader. Very few believed her. They blamed her when he left. She found a way to let his new community know. But will they believe her? Again and again, the stories continue. The religions are different. The stories are the same. Someone with power abuses someone with none, and they get away with it. But we bear witness to the truth. Too often, we bear witness alone. But I got your back, Benny, and you've got mine. One story at a time.